Wastewater treatment. In this lesson, you will learn how wastewater is treated. What is wastewater?
Wastewater is a combination of the liquid and water, carries waste from residences, commercial buildings, industrial plants and institutions, together with any groundwater, surface water and stormwater that may be present. Sewage is a subset of wastewater that is contaminated with feces and urine.
Water is an essential product in our life. Without water, a lot of daily life activities will be halted. Do you know what happens to all the wastewater that are flushed out daily by the consumers? History of how wastewater is treated. Let us take a look at where the idea of wastewater treatment comes from. In the past, sewage is littered everywhere. It became a very messy problem. Life was really too harsh to worry about sewage. Then came civilization. It soon became an urgent question. For the first time, the problem of sewage disposal had to be seriously considered. In medieval Europe, it was downright disgusting what some people did with their sewage. Flush toilets, discreetly called water closet, were a major innovation of the 19th century. Sewerage lines were constructed in many European towns, but these merely channeled the raw sewage straight into the rivers and seas. One day, a wise man decided to build sewage farms. Sewerage lines were redirected into huge pits and dug into the ground, but they were soon unable to cope with the volume. Then they started to build a proper sewage treatment plant. It was only in the 1950s and 1960s that flush toilets were introduced here. In bigger towns like Kuala Lumpur, sewerage pipes leading to central treatment plants were installed. Less than half of our towns have proper sewage systems, and we produce 5 million tons of sewage every year. So, we have to clean it up. But how? Well, fortunately, there is an efficient sewage treatment procedure. Major categories of water pollutant causes health problems. 1. Category: infectious agent. Example: bacteria, viruses, parasites. Sources: human and animal excreta. 2. Category: organic chemicals. Example: pesticides, plastics. Oil, industrial gasoline and detergent. Sources: household, farm use. 3. Category: inorganic chemicals. Example: acids, caustics, salt and metals. Sources: industrial effluents, household cleaners, surface runoff. Have you seen this video before? What is wastewater treatment? It's the cleaning of used water and sewage so it can be returned safely to our environment. Let us see how it works. There are 3 main stages in wastewater treatment process. Let's look at what these stages involve. Primary treatment. The wastewater or raw sewage from the underground pipes are transferred by pump into primary and secondary screen chamber. The separated waste is then conveyed into collection bin. The screen flows through grit channels for further removal of the sand and heavy particles. After the grit channels, the sewage overflows into a flow channel and is distributed into aeration tanks. Fine bubbles air diffusers are installed at the bottom of the aeration tanks to provide homogeneous mixing and aeration. A major biological process occurs in this tank whereby microorganisms in suspension with sewage will oxidize the organic substances and reduce BOD. The process ensures that the water put back into our rivers or lakes has enough oxygen to support life. Tertiary treatment. The effluent with suspended material is then passed into a clarifier where the material settles as sludge. The clarifier acts as a settlement tank and allows the aerated sludge to settle at the bottom. At the end of the clarifier, the effluent is overflown through plates and discharged. Sludge. The settled sludge at the bottom of the clarifier is collected by a mechanical scrapper and pumped directly to sludge dewatering area. The wasted sludge then flocculated by polymer and coagulant before it's thickened and dehydrated in 12 to 18% dry solids. It is further dried by dyer, and finally the product that has been processed is treated and made into fertilizer. Awareness of problems caused by public in wastewater treatment plant.
Public at large do not realize the function of sewage treatment plant. Most users do not bother to know where or what happens to sewage and wastewater from their premises. Many users take for granted the sewage services provided by Water to ensure that sewage and wastewater are treated in public sewage treatment plants before the effluent is released back into the waterways safely. Water undertake proactive preventive measures to ward off intruders and trespassers by constructing concrete walls surrounding public sewage treatment plants located in high-risk areas such as playgrounds, parks, schools, and selected public places.
To avoid fatal accidents, please remind your family members, especially children, not to enter the sewage treatment plant compound. If you see any intruder in the sewage treatment plant, please inform the nearest police station or Water Consortium office at the telephone number as stated on your sewage bill. Do not throw any litter into the toilet bowl, or it may cause massive stagnation within the sewage system.
We have learned how wastewater treatment is carried out. Select the correct treatment for each stage. Click the Answer button to check your answer after completing the flowchart.
Your answer is correct.
Fill in the blanks with the proper words. The wastewater from the underground pipes are transferred by pump into the separated waste is then conveyed by into a collection bin. The screen sewage flows through for further removal of the sand and heavy particles. The sewage overflows into flow channels and is distributed to. The effluent is then passed into where the material settles as sludge. The settled sludge at the bottom of the clarifier is then collected by the and is pumped directly to the sludge dewatering area. It is further dried by the before it is processed as fertilizer.
There are three main stages in wastewater treatment process. Let's look at what these stages involve.
How drinking water is purified from wastewater. Click the info button to know more. Drinking water from wastewater is a secondary treated effluent that has undergone a stringent purification process. It is submerged continuously in microfiltration with reverse osmosis and treatment process using advanced dual membrane or microfiltration and reverse osmosis and ultraviolet technologies. The plan for it was to mix and blend it with reservoir water prior to conventional water treatment to produce potable water. The water, which has a slightly chlorinated taste, will be mixed into current water supply to replenish the treated water with natural minerals and trace chemicals leached out during the purification process. Drinking water from wastewater is a secondary treated effluent